Hello everyone, this is Robert and welcome to the Drain Bamage video series. That's right, I am building a new 30-pound featherweight combat robot, and by the time you see this video, the bot will already have been finished and competed, or at least that was the plan. Hello everyone, this is Robert from the future. So Drain Bamage was supposed to compete May 12th at AVC, but unfortunately they will not be bringing the arena, so there will not be the 12 and the 30-pound weight class, so Drain Bamage won't actually be fighting. It's just going to be sitting here in my shop, beautiful and finished. I am going to continue these video series, but unfortunately it's going to have to fight sometime in the future. I'm going to have to find some other competition for it to go to, but I'm still going to go through the whole video series, goes through the whole build with you so that you can see how I built it, because it is pretty cool. Anyway, back to the video, and this is kind of, for me right now, a look forward, but for you this will be a look back at the whole build, design, and everything of Drain Bamage. So let's get started. As always, please feel free to use the chapters to skip around and find the section that is most interesting to you. This whole project is sponsored by PCBWay. This will become a little bit more apparent later on when we start getting further into the design, but the design itself requires some very complicated pieces to be machined, which I'm not able to machine inside my shop, so I reached out to PCBWay, and they were gracious enough to sponsor this whole project. So thanks to them, more information down below, and I'll be kind of dabbling their name in throughout this video series. So what I want to cover in this video is just kind of the design objectives, what I'm trying to accomplish, and why I'm even doing this build, because it's a bit of a non-traditional build for me. Right now it is early April. I started this, I'd say maybe mid-March is when I kind of seriously started this project, and you're just seeing the videos right now because I wanted to kind of keep the project a little bit quiet. I didn't really want to post anything on Instagram. I didn't want to tell people about this. I just kind of want to surprise, show up at the competition, and have a finished bot without anyone knowing. That's kind of something that's a bit weird for me, since I am a YouTuber and I do post a bunch of stuff online. It's weird for me to just show up randomly to a competition. And as of right now, I haven't even registered for the competition. No one knows I'm showing up, so this is going to be a surprise to a lot of people. So whenever I start a new project, especially a new robot build, I always think about what the video series is going to look like, how much I'm going to share, and how much of that is going to be the project. And for Drain Bamage specifically, the video side of this is actually a significant portion of the project. That's kind of maybe a little bit of a bigger part of the project than just building the robot. So I'm going to try and have as many videos in this series as possible. We'll see what happens, to kind of explain every little step along the way. And in this video, what I want to talk about are the design constraints. Whenever you're building or designing anything, there's always design constraints. Some of them are kind of more hidden, some of them are more apparent. Like when you're designing a combat robot, it has to physically move. So you don't necessarily put that up on the whiteboard. You know, it has to be a combat robot, it has to do this, it has to adhere to the rules, it might need to win. Like, all of these things are kind of just these like implicit design goals. But whenever I build a robot, I kind of outline 3 to 5 specific design goals that I'm adhering to, so that every single part selection, like this screw, does this screw satisfy one of these things? Every time you move something around SolidWorks or change the thickness, is it adhering to one of these design rules that's laid out? And so for a Drain Bamage, I have 3 design rules. Let's go into those. For Drain Bamage, the very first design objective is durability. Above all else, it needs to be durable. So when I'm making this design and I'm moving a part around, or I'm changing this, or I'm choosing what motor to have, is that increasing the durability? Now, I know this might seem on the surface like, well, duh, you know, combat robots have to be durable, but think about this. There's a lot of design choices that you might have, like adding LEDs or adding like cool features on the outside. Are they increasing durability? This is a weaponless bot, which is not all that common for me. Adding a weapon in goes against the durability design goals. So Every single aspect of this bot is built with durability in mind. I really want this to be kind of more like Duck from BattleBots, but even more extreme than that. I want extreme durability. I want this thing at any given moment, at the drop of a hat, to just, oh, there's a competition tomorrow? Okay, let me dust this thing off, charge the battery, throw it into the arena, and it's good to go. Ultimate durability is what I'm after here. Number 2 design goal is reliability. I know this kind of is similar in a lot of ways to durability, but I want this to be reliable so it can be durable, but I could maybe still have to go in and replace parts in between fights. No, I don't want that. Part of the reason I'm doing this build is I don't really like competitions. It's not my favorite aspect of it. I like going to competitions, and I was actually planning on just going to AVC as a judge or just kind of as a volunteer to help out with the check-in and things like that. But I did want to compete. I did want to have some kind of robot. I like the building, I like the designing, but I don't like servicing bots at competitions. I don't like doing any repairs or fixing. And I also don't like the lead up to a competition to where you're building like 5 and 6 copies of everything, knowing that you probably won't end up using it. And then you have a design change at the very end and you have to redo all those copies. I want this thing to be almost not serviceable. And I don't want it to be difficult to service, but I don't really want to have to fix it at the event. So ultra durability, ultra reliability. I really am looking to build an invincible bot that I don't ever have to mess with, which I know is a bit of a challenge, but I think I have a way forward. So let's go on to the third objective. So the third and final design objective is fun. It needs to be fun and it needs to be an engaging bot. And what I mean by that is I'm essentially building a bullet sponge. I'm not building a wedge. I want to make that clear distinction. I think wedges are for people that are trying to avoid impacts or trying to deflect energy. No, the idea of drain Bamage in the name itself is meant to absorb as much impact as possible. It is meant to be a drivable brick that gets the living heck beat out of it for 3 full minutes. That is the idea. It's not meant to be competitive. It's not necessarily meant to win fights, but it's meant to give the other bot the best hit possible. So the edges, the geometry, everything about it is something that you want to drive full force directly into a drum, directly into a vertical spinner, and just have it hit the ceiling, land back down, dust itself off, and then keep going. That's the idea. This isn't a competitive bot. This isn't, the new meta. It's none of that stuff. It is an ultra durable, ultra reliable bullet sponge. That's it. I want people to look at this and think, oh yay, I get to fight drain Bamage because I just get to hit it for 3 solid minutes. And at the end of 3 solid minutes, I get to take out the battery, put in a new battery, and put it in for the next fight without doing any work. I don't really even plan on having spares for this. It is, we will see how well this ages to see if this actually, I actually accomplished this task. But the idea is to build something that is as close to indestructible in a 30-pound weight class as possible. Cross your fingers. So given those 3 design objectives, ultimately what I'm trying to do is have a solid brick of metal be able to be entered into a competition. Like if I could just take a big block of metal and have a string on it and just sit there from out the cage and just sit there and kind of tug on it and be like, oh, I have controlled motion. I'm trying to kind of do that. I mean, obviously it's going to end up having to have a drive, but I'm not thinking about competitions that have active weapon rules. So this isn't going to have a weapon. It's not going to have an actuator. It's just going to be a drive system. So what I'm thinking about right now is basically taking the drive system from Crippling Depression, modifying it, making some tweaks, I don't know, something like this, modifying it, tweaking it, scaling it down, and fitting it into a different shell. So this is kind of an abomination between Crippling Depression and Low Man. There's a lot of stolen designs from both of those, and I tend to do this in a lot of things I design. Is I kind of do one thing that I really like and kind of steal from it in the future bot. Ooh, I really liked this, and so Low Man kind of came off of Long Man. There's a lot of shared design in that, and Crippling Depression was one of my first robots ever built, so I'm basically kind of sort of rebuilding Crippling Depression without a weapon, but with all the things that I learned when I designed Low Man. So it'll be an interesting little mashup. So I'm trying to get these videos out of the way because I'm already significantly further along in the design process, so I don't want to, keep going further without actually documenting where my head was at when I first started. But at this point in time, let's just kind of fake it. At this point in time, I'm not really sure what metal I'm going to go with. I don't know if I can get away with using steel. I don't know if I'm going to have to use aluminum. I really don't know what that all looks like. I know the density differences between the two things, but conceptually, I'm just not sure what it's going to look like. So video 2, I'm actually going to discuss how I approach weights with a combat robot, because that's actually a very difficult thing. Is you start out with a new design, you have just a blank piece of paper or a blank workbench, and you're just like, how big is this thing supposed to be? And I want to kind of talk to you how I budget weights, how I figure out how big this thing needs to be when it's just theoretically on paper. So there's a lot of kind of chicken and egg and guessing going on. And then this also brings me to the sponsor. PCBWay is doing all the machining of it. So when I kind of figure out what that chassis and what that shell looks like, I need to send the design off to them so that they can actually do the manufacturing. I can do kind of all the internal guts, and then we can kind of go back and forth like that. And the cool thing about PCBWay, and I will say this, is when I was kind of looking around before our, any sponsorship stuff, I was looking around, and they really do honestly have a cool quoting tool to where you can take any file that you have in SolidWorks, you can export it into Step or IGES. I think Step worked best for me, but basically any 3D model that you have, you can just upload to their site, click a few things, and you can instantly get a number. So you can kind of get a relative idea of what features are costly, right? So in one instance it was, let's just say $500, another one's like $700. I'm like, oh, okay, that thing costs $200. So it's kind of cool to have that online immediate quoting, selecting the different materials, re-uploading the file, and just kind of seeing what your final parts cost is going to be. So yeah, pretty cool. So yeah, I think that is all I have for this video, just kind of a brief introduction into the project, what my design objectives are, what my goals are with it, and all of that good stuff. At this point in time, this is the only video I've done yet, but I probably most likely will have several other videos in this series, so check back and watch those. Check in next week, I think, theoretically. Next week I'll have the weights video done. And actually this is a pretty critical part of the bot. It might seem like, it's not that interesting, but I think you'll find it interesting. It is kind of hard to figure out how big this bot is going to be when all of these design elements are very critical, and changing one of them just breaks the whole model. So it's kind of hard to start a new design. Modifying an existing design is quite easy, but starting from scratch is always really daunting because you just don't know how big to make everything. I might throw everything down together and be like, oh, it's 40 pounds. Okay, I just kind of have to start over. So there's a lot of little tips and tricks that you can do with that. So stay tuned for next video, and we'll see what Drain Bamage ends up being. Thanks for watching. See you then.